Hey there everyone, welcome back to another set analysis. This one's going to be pretty awesome for me because this is a set I've been looking forward to forever. Ever since it was first announced that we would be getting an Iron Man set from the first movie, this has been something really exciting for me personally because Iron Man, if you didn't know, was the first Marvel Cinematic Universe film. It came out all the way back in 2008. And of course, Robert Downey Jr. first donned the Iron Man suit. And how the franchise has grown since then. But the first Iron Man just so happens to be my particular favorite MCU film. Still to this day. 11 years later. And their Lego have finally gotten around to making a set on the first movie. And this is an amazing set. It does have a few issues, in my opinion, but I think it's a knockout set. It's the only summer Marvel set that I plan on actually buying, because it's the only one I care about. But I'll cover the other sets as well, such as the Daily Bugle, which I haven't covered yet, or the, well, technically I have. I need to cover all the Marvel Summer 2021 sets, and there'll be more LEGO news analysis coming, but this is the one I truly care about buying, so I will start with this one, as it's my favorite set of the wave. So, what is this set? Well, it's part of the new LEGO Infinity Saga line, based on the Marvel Studios film series, and it is the Iron Man, Monger, Mayhem. It comes with 479 pieces. 76190 is the number of the set, and it'll be retailing for $40, and it will be released on August 1st. So, what do you get with the set? Well, you get 3 great minifigures. You also get the Ironmonger mech, which is based on the Mark I from the first Iron Man film. So the set is basically just a fan service set for the first Iron Man movie. Is the Ironmonger a little big? Yeah, it's definitely oversized. The Ironmonger shouldn't be this big, but I think it's fine here because there actually is a lot more detail than usual. Although, if we're trying to be realistic, the Ironmonger is supposed to be much smaller than this. In fact, it is supposed to be maybe like a Hulk size. Not really Hulk Buster size, but anyway, here's the box. It's got a new box art for the Marvel sets, so they're no longer calling it Marvel Superheroes or Marvel Avengers or Marvel Spider-Man anymore. It's now Infinity Saga, although they do have the Spider-Man sets. You got a Thanos here. Ironmonger is taking up the whole front of the box. Got the figures down here. It's a cool box art. It's got some nice comic book inspired stuff down here. Got the Avengers logo down here. That's pretty cool. On the back of the box is of course, the famous scene in the film where Iron Man and Ironmonger are flying up to the air, into the sky, and they both get iced, or they're nearing, Ironmonger doesn't know that his suit cannot reach full power in the air, and so that's to the point where the ice happens. What icing problem? If you remember that scene. There's a couple of features. I guess you can open up the Ironmonger's head to put Obadiah Stane in. We'll talk about him in a minute. And also there's a Gatling gun on the side and some shooters on the other side. So that's cool. There's also a glow-in-the-dark piece for the arc reactor. So that's the back of the box. Also, there is the picture of the minifigures on the right. But now, let's talk about the minifigures themselves. Well, actually, let me show you a couple pictures here. Also, I did want to mention that I will be doing 2 other videos on this set. I'll be analyzing the Ironmonger itself, just talking about it and my feelings on it. That'll be the whole video. And then I'll do another whole video discussing the minifigures, because I'm just a big fan of this movie and of the set that I think 3 videos is a pretty good number. And yeah, anyway, just look for that if you're interested. So this is the Ironmonger being built. You can see it's quite massive, compared to Iron Man, which is very small, which normally that would be, I don't know. I think they went a good style with, I think they made it look really good and it's a decent looking set. I just don't like that it's so small. Or I don't like it it's so big, excuse me. Not small. Tony's small, but the Ironmonger is huge. It definitely wasn't this big in the movie. It was like maybe barely bigger than Iron Man. But that's it being built. Here it is in real life. So that's what you get when you actually get it. So that's how it would look in actual pieces, you know? And I think it's cool that they give Iron Man these floating or these repulsor pieces to make him fly. That's really cool. You can see you can open up the helmet part. So let's talk about the minifigs. You get 3 of them. You get Pepper Potts based on the first film. You get Iron Man, Tony Stark based on the first film, and Obadiah Stane based on the first film. So if you're not aware, Jeff Bridges plays Obadiah Stane. We're getting our first minifigure of him here. He looks amazing. We also get Robert Downey's Iron Man, Tony Stark there in the middle. And this is his Mark III suit, again, based on the first film, which is my favorite suit in the Iron Man lineup. And we get Pepper Potts, played by Gwyneth Paltrow. And she looks pretty good. She doesn't look exactly like Paltrow, but I think it's close enough. I think it's pretty close. I think it's the best that they could do with the pieces that they had. But definitely, the best minifigure of the set is Iron Man. I mean, look at this detail. He's even got toe printing. And oh my, they even brought back the original helmet, the 2-piece one where you can flip it up. That is awesome. And although the faces may not be accurate to the movie, I think the rest of the suit just looks fantastic. It just looks perfect. I have no complaints with any of these figures. They just look so good. Like, Lego somehow captured Jeff Bridges in all the right ways. Like, he's got the beard, he's got the age lines, he's got the bald head. He's got a great suit, although he never wore a dark blue suit in the film. I don't remember him ever wearing that. I'm pretty sure he never wore that. So that's interesting. But I think it's cool that they went with that. It's definitely a new look for him. And I like it. I dig it. It's cool. No leg printing for either Obadiah or Pepper, but that's okay. New Pepper Potts. It's based on her outfit from the beginning of the film. Her black kind of suit. That's really awesome. And 2 out of the 3 have alternate faces. Stane does not, because he is bald. So that would make sense if he had another face. So that's awesome. Oh, man, I love this lineup. It's so great. I think, if I were to complain, I think maybe one more minifigure would be really good. I think we could have gotten Terrence Howard's Rhodes. Like James Rhodes, you know, Rhodey from the first film. I prefer Terrence Howard over Don Cheadle, but that's just me because I just remember seeing Terrence Howard the most. Of course, it was from the first film. So yeah, I think we could have got him, and I think that would be like the perfect lineup. Would be like Rhodey, Stane, Potts, and Stark. I think just having one more minifigure for $40 would be really ideal, but that's just me. So I love this Iron Man. This is my favorite suit of the entire MCU, and it just looks incredible. I'm just so pleased with this set. It's just perfect. I mean, well, it's perfect. It does have some issues. Let me lift this up here. You can see. So you can see it's really big compared to the minifigures. Iron Man gets some Power Blast pieces here on the side. That's pretty nice. There's also a crate as well for some, I don't know, storage for cargo. And Iron Man also includes a hair piece, so you can give it to Tony if you don't want him to have the helmet on. So that's awesome. The Ironmonger is great. It's huge. Let me think of my cons. I have a couple. I think that this area here, let me zoom in. This area here, this whole neck area, this should be much more filled out. Like, it should definitely not show the pieces inside. I definitely think that they could have made more pieces to cover the area around the helmet. I just think it looks a little bit open. That's not really ideal, but I think maybe I could try to fix that with my own pieces. I'll see. My only other complaint with this is that you cannot turn the head because it's like angles on a like with arms on the back. You can't really turn his head. You kind of have to turn his whole waist. Um, that's not ideal, but I think it pretty much works. Given the size of this thing, I think it's pretty good. It's not it's pretty much perfect to me because Monger is my favorite villain, or I guess Obadiah Stane is my favorite MCU villain. Um, so I think it really works. We maybe could have used some leg articulation here and here, like on the lower legs, but that's fine. I think it looks pretty amazing. I wish it was a little smaller though, because it's not this big in the movie, obviously. But it's pretty awesome. I'm just glad that they finally got around to making an Ironmonger. I mean, he's the first MCU villain, and it's taken us this long to get a set with him. Like, that's kind of dumb, but oh well, at least we're getting one now. There are some stickers that's pretty good. I think that adds to the detail. And it should be pretty awesome. This is the only set that I really care about buying, like I said. And I mean, I love this first Iron Man. I adore it. It's my favorite MCU movie. Although my favorite Marvel movie is not in the MCU, it's the Raimi Spider-Man, the first one. But this Iron Man is it's very nostalgic for me. This particular movie because I had the Ironmonger action figure back in the day in 2008 and it was amazing. I wish I still had it. And I also had Iron Man, the one where you could like switch out different parts. It was basically the Mark III as an action figure, but you could like switch his head. You can switch his weapons. It was really awesome. But I wish I had those still. And this really reminds me of that. Like those good memories I had playing with those figures and getting them and just watching the movie like 40 times, which I watched it like probably 30 times at this point. Um, so I think I've worn out the disc from our collection because it's just so old at this point. But I couldn't be happier with this. Like I said, I mentioned the cons. I think the head should be able to turn. I think this area should be covered up around the helmet. And I think the legs should have been given articulation. And maybe Rhodey would have been a great inclusion. But as it is a flawless set, pretty much. And I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Because it deserves it. It's just so well designed and looks great. And it's very nostalgic for me. So I'm very happy to put this on my list. So this is very high on my list. It's probably number 3. Probably. So what do you guys think? Let me know what you think about this set in the comments below. Do you like this? Do you not? I know some people don't. That's fine. But, yeah, let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching this analysis. Please stay tuned for the other two related to this set. Those are coming as well. And I will see you in the next video, which will be soon. Thank you so much. Take care. Have an awesome day.